Hello, this is James Eggert. I'd like to present to you my Film Specialisms module. Personally, in my background, I have found movie posters, or all posters, very interesting to look at and examine the interest of imagination and design that goes into the process of the individual or the company that influences the outcome. As a person that's interested in the fine arts, designing and messing around with imagery and imagination is always a fun outcome for me to enjoy the process of. So, how do I intend to do this in film specialisms? Well, examining the history of film posters from the beginning to today, I have personally come to acknowledge a period when that was out of my generation, but found more interesting in its technical and media uses, and how I find most modern posters today rather less adventurous or individual standing, as they are commonly seem to have a similar outcome in box office standards. Certain books I've researched into is like movie posters, the art of movie posters, which has helpfully given me a range of the genres, countries and periods and styles that go into the depth of thinking about what a poster can have or have not, or have as much and get away with, whether it's the craziness of the individual that pours his heart into it, or the company that wants the audience to understand a certain idea. Or maybe in the process it gets lost and becomes another idea that is not expected of what the film would show when the audience see it. And that may be the idea of trying to attract the attention of the audience by more standards than just using a film trailer or just using the name, but the icon image, the color contrast, the feel of what this movie could be about, and look into it with excitement and interest. Foreign movie posters have really exposed the idea of how you can really use techniques, styles, and how artists have used similar directions of what styles they like to keep to or different at. And it is really excitable to think of how much I can put into this module, with the outcome of knowing the limits or the unlimited values of a film poster. I've also looked into the documentaries of film posters like Sal Bass, who was a 50s, 60s era that worked mostly in Hitchcock and created iconic, famous posters that were just as famous as the film that they portrayed themselves. And that really sort of puts the artist into perspective. But also looking at modern day posters and asking the questions of what rules are there in the film poster history? Is there a certain standard age rating even for the excess of imagery, colour, format? Or is it just accidental consequences of how cheap and easy and quick it must be to explore a poster? Other books I've looked at are underground movie posters, which sort of go beyond the level of being restricted to audience sites of offence, of just trying to really explore with what manner or mental understanding, psychological imagery, even if that makes sense, of sensitively approaching imagination, whether it's humorous, whether it's horror, whether it's just conceptual, minimal, colourful, happy or sad. But it brings another depth and probably adds more to that film's substance. Other researches I've looked into is modern art books, not just history of modern art, but also Renaissance, Old Age, many centuries and styles and genres that can help really in depth the individual, as in me, to explore with what the film is about and how I believe it can relate to that film's character. In my personal background, I have had an experience of creating posters for my film groups and other modules to help them advertise their films, to give them confidence, to give them interest to the audience, to seem the attraction, and also in personal stance to give me an idea of how creative I can be. So the outcome of my film specialisms is to create a bunch of film posters to show the process, suggestions, and the range amount of changes that I could develop looking at today's modern films box office, or just any source of today that would be an interest to have a go at.